Folks, what I'm about to tell you, I hope that I'm very wrong. I hope I'm seriously wrong. I might be right, I might be wrong, but I am seeing so much of things I don't like that frightens me because I think we are heading into a war. And let me explain why. You see what's going on in Greenland? Did you know Trump is saying national security? Greenland is not a threat to our security. No, it's not. Did you also know that we already had the rights, if we wanted to go in and get minerals and the oil out of there? We don't need to take the entire continent of Greenland over. So what is he really doing here? Now, our fellow NATO countries do not like it. They have sent troops into Greenland. And now Trump turns around and he's putting 10% tariffs on these countries like Germany, Italy, Spain, England, France, 8 countries. There's my friend Diamond. Good morning. Folks, Diamond was the first person to put money into my PayPal account. Okay, I want to thank her right here. I'm glad she came. Folks, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to my channel. Help me out in any way you can. And don't be afraid to hit that like button. It's not going to bite you. All right, let's get down to it, folks. Okay? Trump, hi, Darlene. Trump is trying to take over Greenland. I have no idea why. Where he got problems in Iran. He took over Venezuela. Why is he taking over all these countries? But yet, on the other side, he's saying he wants to stop the war in Ukraine because he doesn't want to see the Ukrainian or Russian soldiers dying, okay? But yet, he's putting the United States at risk. Folks, I'm frightened. This is not something that we should just laugh at, okay? Told you, Greenland does not have a military. It's owned by Denmark, a very peaceful country. We never had a problem there. No, I don't have gold, no, or silver. I don't know why. Folks, I'm perplexed. If any of you have any idea, if you do, leave me a comment, please, and tell me what the hell is going on. And there's something else, folks. You know, Putin is not afraid of the United States. He's definitely not Can you hear me now? Okay. I don't know why. I tell people don't call me when I'm doing this. They call me, and that happened. Yeah, bravo. All right, I did something right once. All right, me and technology. Hang on, folks. I got to get something that I printed out. Let's talk about what's going on in Minneapolis, all these protests, okay? Trump is never going to come close to what Obama did, all right? Obama deported over 3 million. But why is Trump having all these problems? Number one, times have changed since Obama. Drastically. The people have changed. All right? We're talking about somebody else. What are we talking about? We're talking about what President Donald J. Trump is doing. By the way, folks, have you been looking at him closely while he's on TV? I mean, he's on 24 hours a day, okay? So maybe he's just tired. But he doesn't look that good to me. I don't know. Something has changed in him. But I do hope, whatever it is, that he gets better, okay? And so forth. Now, folks, you weren't here in the beginning. Let me begin and tell you, okay? Trump is everything he does. If he goes to the toilet, it's national security, okay? Yeah. Everything he says, national security. Greenland is not national security. Greenland is not a danger to the United States. Okay? He's saying the mineral rights and the oil rights. Folks, we have them rights. Greenland and Denmark has given us those rights. We've had it for years. All they got to do is go in and get the minerals. Nobody's complaining. Nobody's saying no to that. Not Denmark, not Greenland. So who's behind all this Trump stuff? Let's go back to Nazi Germany. Who was close to Hitler? Okay? Hitler began by taking over countries. All right? Who was close to him? You have Stephen Miller. And watch out for this Stephen Miller. Okay? He's behind the immigration and how it's being handled. Yeah. He's behind the Greenland thing. Iran. He and Trump are glued at the hip. And I don't know why. And neither do you. But there's a reason. Maybe someday we will find out. But folks, okay? I want to tell you, let's go to the immigration here for a moment, okay? Now, I was in prison when Obama was president, all right? But Obama deported over 3 million people. And I'm going to tell you why. And he had no problems. There were some minor protests here and there when he did it. But here's the main reason, folks. People hate Donald Trump. It's not going to stop, okay? Our mainstream media coverage hate Donald Trump. They loved Obama, but they hate Donald Trump. So when Obama was president, despite these, many commentators had noted that the protests against Obama's deportation policy did not receive the same level of widespread media coverage or public outrage as those targeting the Trump administration. Yeah, folks. You see why? It's your goddamn news media. They're so biased, it's crazy. Okay? Look it, I voted for him. He's our president. I respect the presidency. I respect the office of the presidency. And we all should do that there. Okay? But folks, I don't like a lot of things he's doing. He's got great ideas, but he's not implementing them properly. He is not implementing. When Obama was president, ICE agents didn't have to wear the mask and cover their face because people didn't go after them. They didn't break into the hotel room. They didn't go after their families. They didn't do none of that. But here it is, these protesters are doing that. All right? They're doing it because of our national news media. You know, I remember the days when you got real news. They weren't biased or against each other. We got real news. Okay, someone saying rest in peace, Joe Rogan. Huh? But let's talk about military, folks. Because this is important for you to know. Who has a stronger army? Russia? Russia had. There, slip $2 hitting that thanks button. Folks, you know, please help me out if you can. You see this? I do my research when I come here, okay? I do my research. I print pages out. It costs me money to print this out because I am old, okay? And I don't have a good computer to be able to do this from, so I'm doing this on my iPhone. So bear with me. I do the best I can, all right? China, let's start. China has the world's largest military by active personnel with over 2 million soldiers, followed by India. Now, I didn't know about that. Followed by India. Well, the U.S. leads in military expenditure and advanced technology like aircraft carrier, making it a top global power despite having fewer personnel. So you know, all right, I think he just announced, am I right? I think it was $1.5 trillion that he's going to put towards our military. The highest ever. I never heard of anybody, okay? Never heard of anybody spent $1.5 trillion. He's doing that for a reason, all right? He's doing that for a reason, folks. They're preparing for war. There are things that's happening. Netanyahu visits him all the time, all right? And Netanyahu got the Mossad, which is the best intelligence agency. They're good. They're better than our CIA. But we work together, okay? NATO, I don't think Trump likes NATO anyways, okay? And, I don't know what good NATO is doing for us now, okay? But I don't like the fact that he put these tariffs, because he's talking about affordability. Affordability and lower prices are two different things, okay? Affordability. Well, by putting the tariffs, it's going to increase prices. It's going to increase, we put it against Italy, it will increase the prices you pay for pasta, tomato sauce, okay, coffee. Germany is going to increase the prices of the cars. Each country imports a lot of stuff into our country, okay? Now, folks, you know something I discovered? Many, many years ago, I can't remember back, okay? But terrorists supported our country. Yeah, so tariffs are good if done the properly right. And it handled, I was just told by somebody out of Washington this morning, but we didn't have the exact dates. I don't know it. I'm going to have to do research. But tariffs were so great that people did not have to pay taxes. Wouldn't that be great if we didn't have to pay taxes? Okay? All right? Folks, please subscribe, like, share. Help me out over here. Okay? If you got a few extra bucks, hit that thanks button. Okay? Or send it to my PayPal, which is right in my profile. I would appreciate that there. All right, but I'm not going to ask you for money anyways. All right, I've done that part. All right? Diddy. I said Diddy is history. He's history to all of us. Who really cares what the hell's going to happen to Diddy? I see all these other YouTubers, all right? They are struggling to come up with content on Diddy, saying he's going broke. Folks, he's got $300 or $400 million. You know how much money that is? He's not going broke. Give me a break. He's never going to be broke. Okay? But I'm going to tell you one thing. All these civil lawsuits, everybody wants to talk about them, okay? And all this stuff. A lot of them are going to get thrown out. He will win some of them. And the ones he loses, he's going to settle for very few dollars. They're not going to get millions and millions of dollars like Cassie Ventura did. Okay? That train has left the station. Left the station long ago. His money are in trust and different things that can't be touched. Okay? He beat the RICO charges, so the government cannot take his money. Somebody help that gentleman just came in. Okay, just came in. He said we didn't inform him what we're talking about here, folks. Folks, I'm trying to build my channel up. For those of you who have subscribed, for those of you who do comment, one thing you know about me is I answer every single comment. If I miss somebody once in a while, please forgive me, okay? All right? But I am not like these other content creators that don't answer, none of them. I answer you all, because you are my family here, and I love you guys. I love you for the support, okay? Give me your tire, you're right there, folks, all right? Thank you, Gina. Good day. Christian Mo, how are you, buddy? What does NATO do? Well, NATO, it's a whole nother subject. But, you know, Trump don't like it. I know that there, okay? And maybe this is going to be the end of NATO. But this country is changing an awful lot, okay? And I just hope I'm wrong, but I see, folks, where's my information? World War I, World War II, okay? Now, World War II ended in September 1945. Folks, that's 80 years ago. 80 years ago. Okay, what's the difference? The era was marked by the Roaring Twenties, the global Great Depression, and the rise of totalitarian regimes in Germany, Italy, and Japan. Some historians argue the two wars were so closely linked that they form a single second 30-year war, spanning from 1914 to 1945. That's World War I, World War II. Now, folks, okay, you don't realize wars are really good for our country, economically, because after the war, the economy has a tendency to come back alive. All right? That's what happens. We are long overdue for war. And I think we're heading there. It's been 80 years. 80 years, folks. And who will the war be with? Russia, Iran, and China. And right now, those three countries are joined at the hip. And those three countries combined, they have nuclear power, just like we do. Well, folks, if this war ends up a nuclear war, okay, will it destroy the world? Will it? Think about that. Some people say it will. I don't think it will. I think somehow, some way, we still will emerge. Nancy, you think it would destroy? I never said Greenland can defend itself. Greenland doesn't have a military. And why do they gotta defend themselves? Okay? Why, when we already have the right to go and get the minerals and oil and anything else that we want from Greenland? We have that right. All right? Wander hitting that $10 Thank you so much, Wanderer. Appreciate that, folks. Trying to make money on social media, it's getting tougher and tougher. Yesterday, I did a show on TikTok. They increased it. They paid me more money. Yeah, they increased me by 1 penny. So I made 8 cents. Every time I go live on TikTok, I either make 7 or 8 cents. Folks, what can you do with 7 or 8 cents? All right? All right? Nancy Lyon, thank you. God bless you, kid. I thought you were going to do 1,000, Nancy. Hey, that would be great. I wonder if anybody ever got $1,000. Okay. What's the highest thanks? Does anybody know that anybody got on, okay? Marlon, no, I did not, okay? What kind of question is that? All right? Yeah, Nancy, you do. You take care of me. I love Nancy Lyon, folks. She's an awesome lady. Everybody say hi to Nancy. She lives in Utah. Boy, I'm getting a lot of friends from Utah. I don't know how or why, but all of a sudden I might have to visit there someday. Okay? I want to visit. I got to get back to New Orleans. Folks, I got to get to so many places. Hey, listen, folks, if any of you are interested in private airplanes, okay, I have a friend out of Sicily, a beautiful lady named Stella. She's got her license, she's got everything. And, private airplane flying is becoming very big now. They just started something here in Los Angeles. You could fly from here to Las Vegas on a private jet for $149. People are getting sick and tired going to these commercial planes, going through that TSA and all that crap. And then another thing, if any of you are into wine, all right, I can get some of the best wine out of Sicily. This lady owns some wineries and things. So if you can, if you know anybody, text me, let me know, okay? All right? Asked me, he said, where's NATO? I asked him, and he said, wrong. No action, talk only. That's a great one. No action, talk only. That's what NATO is. Some good comments here, okay? It's clout chasing. Folks, you know one thing you never see from me do? You never see me come here and talk about and show you reels of what other people say. You tell me a clout chaser, folks? No. Okay? Get real. Get it right. What idiots come here? All right? You're right. Thank you. All right, India. I didn't realize India is has big military. I never knew that. I'm astonished, okay? That was unreal news, okay? For me to find that out in my research, I showed you earlier, okay? But, folks, it's really not good. People protesting, going after the ICE agent. It's, I realize you're from India. We got people from India here. Thank you so much. Look, if I realize it. You know, Trump has gotten, there's nobody coming across the border now, okay? And that's a good thing. People want to come to our country, they should come here legally, go through the process and everything. But, you know, on the other hand, we have a lot of immigrants that have been here for a very long time, 25, 30 years, and they're getting picked up because they didn't become citizens. You know, people are really lazy. They want to become the United States, land of the free, home of the brave. They get in here, they've been working here for 25 years, and they don't become citizens. Their children are citizens, but they don't become citizens. And they are getting caught up in these raids that are happening. Okay? And it's terrible. But it's happening. It really is. But that's the truth of it. My grandparents came over. They came through Ellis Island. They did it right. They became citizens. Okay? I talked to a gal yesterday who told me she just became a citizen. She went, she took the test. All right, she did everything she was supposed to do. But you know, folks, one thing I'm going to be talking about, and I might do this not tomorrow, okay? I got a busy day today. Would you believe I got appointments today and it's Saturday? I got somebody coming in from Texas. I got somebody coming in from 1,000 Oaks here in California. I'm going 3 o'clock, okay? We've got people from the Netherlands here today, okay? But I'm going to talk about education. What's going on? Why our education system sucks, okay? California, we're number 37 of the worst states, 37. 1971, we were the top, okay? And I'll tell you about other states where they rank. But, you know, folks, my book, I got messages from young people telling me they'd love to buy my book, but they can't read. Yeah, I'm serious. Well, I wrote them back. I let them know my book is available and Audible. So, anybody here can't read, you could purchase my book in Audible. And it's available on Kindle. All right? So I wanted you to know that. Thank you, Nancy. Tell them they can listen to it. A lot of people love the Audible, okay? Honestly, it's not me talking, but you will think it's me because the voice is very close to mine, okay? When I did the Audible, I had a selection from 3 different people that I listened to, and that's how I ended up getting my Audible. Thank you, Kyle. Well, I discussed him. Okay, Lyle. Lyle didn't like me, so I threw him out. I don't like doing that, but sometimes you gotta do it. All right, Sophia, you're gonna have to listen to the replay. Find out everything I talked about here. We talked about Greenland, we talked about immigration, and we talked about Diddy. You don't see me coming here every day reporting about him. And I'm not going to unless it's something that's really big about him is something that's really serious. If he gets indicted on something else. And folks, everybody wants to blame him for the Tupac and the Biggie murders. Everybody's got hearsay. Everybody's talking. They know this, he did that. Folks, that is called hearsay. You cannot build an indictment on hearsay. Otherwise, we'd all be in prison. Yeah. So, I don't really see any other indictments coming. Once again, I might be wrong. Maybe there will. I don't see it. I think they got what they wanted from boy, did somebody just send me another $10? I'm up to 3160 here. Not too shabby. That's that's after YouTube takes their 30%. Okay? And that's why some people appreciate it. They send it to my PayPal. All right? I get most of it. But no, folks, everybody's clout chasing, everybody wants click, everybody wants views, and everybody wants more subscribers. I'm no different. I want that. I don't do any clout chasing. I don't chase anybody. Okay? That's why when I come to you, all right, I come to you with my information, my thoughts, my research on things that I do, and I could talk to you from my wisdom and my experience that I have gone through in my lifetime, okay? I am a very multitasked individual. I'm a public speaker. Anybody got an event, you're looking for a public speaker, reach out to me, okay? I will march, in March I'll be going to San Diego for a couple of days at a motivational event where I'm going to be speaking about business, how to succeed, what you need to do, okay? And things like that there. So folks, I want to thank you all for coming today, joining me here on this Saturday. You can see the sun is shining. We're still having beautiful weather. For those of you who are back east, I understand you're getting the cold, the snow, and all that there. And just the way it is, folks, I'm sorry. All right? So folks, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do, okay? Please help me out in any way you could. And I watch other content creators. I watch Value Entertainment, David Patrick Betta, okay? They give truth. They give factual information, okay? Bill O'Reilly, he's getting too far off his normal thing, but I like Bill O'Reilly. Stephen A. Miller, I love Stephen A. Miller. If Stephen A. Miller ran for president, he's got my vote, okay? He would be one guy, the only person that I could think of in today's world that's got a chance at it that would really do what he says he will do. He'll have battles for sure, but he's the only one I think, all right? He's a no-nonsense guy, and he stands up for his rights. So if you haven't watched Stephen A. Miller, folks, you got to watch him. All right, the guy's awesome. I want to thank you all for coming today. Once again, I ask you to subscribe, like, and share. All my love and respect to you all. And remember, do something kind for others. It'll come back to you tenfold. God bless you all. Take care.